Hey crew, now we're still in lesson 1, but this is the second page of lesson 1, okay? This is page 371, that's why it says number 10, 11, and 12 up here. Now what we're going to do is, what they want you to do is, you're going to do the same thing you did on the last sheet. You're going to find how many square units are inside of each of these shapes. And it says you need to measure in centimeters. So you're going to find out how many centimeters squared. Now, if you do that, you're going to find that if you cut it, or if you measure it, you're going to have something that looks like this, and something that looks like this. And each of them is going to, oh, no, my bad. It doesn't look like that. It's actually like that. Okay, where you should have 3 rows, 4 columns. Okay, so 3 going this way. Now, up at the top it tells you on this one they want you to cut it in half. Now, if you're going to cut this in halves, I can't go this direction because if I go here, I'm going to have 2 going down and only 1 down here. If I'm going to cut it in half, I'm going to have to cut it this direction, where I color in this side, right? Because now I have 6 colored in, 6 not colored in. So I've cut it in half. If I'm going to do thirds, my measuring is going to be the same. My measuring is going to look like this. 1, 2, and I'm going to have something like that. And then it's going to go like this and like this. But if I cut it in thirds, the problem that I'm going to have is, now I'm not going to cut it into 2 equal pieces, I'm going to cut it into 3 equal pieces. So when you cut it into 3 equal pieces, you're going to have to go not this way, because you have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It'd be better to go this way where you have 1, 2, 3. So now to cut it into thirds, I can go like this. And I'm going to leave the middle blank, and then I'm going to go like this to show I have 3 different pieces. Okay? So you can do dots on the other one, you can do whatever, but just to show there's 1, there's 2, and there's 3 thirds. Okay? Now the bottom, or number 12, I guess it's the furthest one over on your page, is going to be the same way. You're going to cut it into centimeters this direction, and then you're going to cut it in centimeters this direction, and it's going to cut exactly the same way. 4 columns, 3 rows. Now, 4 columns means if I'm going to divide this into fourths, that means I need 4 equal pieces again, and I have it going this way. So the same thing. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to color this guy in this direction. I'm going to leave this one blank. Over here, I'm going to make dots to fill this guy in. So this is a row. And finally on this one, I'm going to do like I did on the other one and just make some lines this way. So I see that this row looks like that. So now I can see I have 1, 2, 3 fourths. Now, when it says halves, thirds, and fourths, what they're saying is I have 1/2 over here. This piece right here would be 1/3. And over on this one, this piece right here would be 1/4. Okay? So that's what they mean when they say cutting into halves, thirds, and fourths. Got it? So down at the bottom it says you're going to go ahead and you're going to shade it 2 different ways to show halves. Then you're going to shade it 2 different ways to show fourths. Then you're going to shade it 2 different ways to show halves on number 15, which means you're going to shade it this way and then shade it maybe going this direction. But the first thing you need to do is it says measure in centimeters again down at the bottom, and then make it in fourths. Okay? So that's the bottom part, or that's page 371, that's the bottom part. On the back side, you're going to do the same thing. It says to divide those shapes into 2 halves, 3 thirds, 4 fourths, and all that kind of stuff. When they're saying 2 halves, this is 2 halves. When they're saying 3 thirds, this is 3 thirds. When it's saying 4 fourths, this is 4 fourths. So you're just going to do the same thing on the back side, coloring those in. Then on the back, it just says on the bottom, 19, 20, 21, and 22. Measure in centimeters, draw rows and columns, and write the number of total squares, just like we did on the first page. So like if we were to do one like this, and it would say how many total squares, well, blank squares, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and this one would be 12 squares. So that's what you're going to do down at the bottom, okay? So that's what you're doing. More of what we did on 369 and 370, but now you're going to actually start dividing them in halves, fourths, and thirds in different ways. Alrighty? And then that'll be it for lesson 1. There is no, like I said, no homework and review sheet. Alrighty? Okay, catch you later.